We're delighted to be next joined by a man who's trained two Triple Crown winners in America, 6 times a winner of the Kentucky Derby, 4 times Eclipse-winning outstanding champion trainer, and just the 19 Breeders' Cup wins to his name as well. Bob Baffert's alongside. But in amongst that whole, Bob, the one race you've not managed to get in the bag is this Saudi Cup. Just how much is this an itch you're wanting to scratch?
I think I have 20 Breeders' Cup.
20?
I think so. Maybe you better check on your facts there,
Okay,
dude.
I will.
No, I'm tied with Aiden, whatever he has. I am just glad to be here. I came the first year. It was exciting. It's such a challenge, especially when you come to the Middle East. It's a long, tough ship on a horse. You need to be way the best to win these races. And we've gotten pretty close. We won a little derby here and stuff, but. We've fallen short. I always tell everybody I'm watching at home. It looks like when I'm home free and I'm looking for the wire, and all of a sudden when they show the 100-meter mark, I've lost millions of dollars. Have just dissipated that last 100 meters, and just they come get you there at the end. And it's sort of a deep racetrack. It's a soft, very forgiving, safe racetrack, but it gets tough. That stretch is it's so long. I prefer shorter stretches, but every time I come here, it's fun and it's getting better. It's changed so much since I came the first time, and it's very important that when they have these races in the Middle East, when they put up the big money, it's very important that we do support them with our good horses, because we need this in racing, because the value it puts on our horses in America, it's just, it's like, they're worth more money. A horse like a Nevada Beach, makes him valuable because he's the kind of horse that could get a big chunk of this. That's why I brought him. He wants to go 1.25 miles, and you need a horse that can go 1.25 miles to run here. I've come here, I fell short, because there weren't true 1.25 mile horses, and so. One turn, so I feel pretty good about both my chances. I think Niso's is a brilliant racehorse. He's got his work cut out. He's got a good post position. He's outside. He can just stalk. He's smart. He could go to the lead. He can come off the pace. Where the horses I brought here before were one-dimensional, and they had horses hook them early, and they got tired at the end. So. They have to break well, but they have to show up, and you just don't know. I brought Mackenzie here, and I thought he didn't show up. Some horses, they don't show up. So, but I'm looking forward. They train well. They look good. This morning they look fantastic, and I have a good sprinter. Imagination, he's a really good horse, and I'm really excited about him also.
And Nisos must be a brilliant horse to train. He's been ultra consistent all the way through his career.
Yeah, he's a horse that we had super high hopes for, and he had little setbacks. Gave him plenty of time. Been very patient with him, and so I would have loved to run him in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but we did miss a race with him. So we ran him in the mile, and came back. He won again, and Nevada Beach ran a big race, right? Give him a little bit of a scare there, but so that's why. I thought we'd bring them both here, and hopefully,
And Nevada Beach was only a 3-year-old in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Was that maybe just a race too soon for horses maybe still developing?
I think the Breeders' Cup it was a weird run race. He was on the inside, and he was sort of tight in the inside there, and really, and the track that day was really speed. They were running, and so. But he's come back. He won after that, and he's come back and run 2 big races. So I feel he's more mature now, but he gets over this track really well. He's a big, like Country Grammar. He reminds me a lot of Country Grammar, big, long jumping horse that gets over this track.
And you've got those two. You touch on Imagination as well in the dirt sprint. He's a horse who seems to have found his feet again, coming back down in distance.
Yeah, we're trying to stretch him out and all, and so we shortened him up. He ran big. I thought he'd win the sprint. He ran a big race, and he got a little tired at the end. But he's come here. He looks really good. He's changing. So hopefully he should run well in the sprint. If he gets away, he's got a great post. So I'm excited about him also.
And what do you make of Romantic Warrior? Came across to Romantic Warrior and Forever Young last year. You talk about how the race can change down the stretch here. Romantic Warrior made that big move off the turn, and we managed to get Forever Young to run him down.
That was a fantastic race. Just as a fan to watch, when you saw Romantic Warrior, because Romantic Warrior, I was watching that race in my office at Santa Anita, and Romantic Warrior, he looked so good going to the gate, and all of a sudden when he took off like that, and I go, wow, he got bold. He took off early, and all of a sudden it looked like the race was over, and then that Forever Young, that horse is like, he's a unicorn. I'm telling you what, he's unbelievable, and I have so much respect for that horse. And he just put his head down, and for him, what he did as a 3-year-old to win in Saudi, Dubai, come to the Derby, and come so close, that is just unheard of. A horse shipping that much. And credit to his trainer and his staff and his jockey, rides him with so much confidence. But that horse is an incredible horse, and he's a good-looking horse. And I saw him the other day. He looks healthy, and he's going to be tough.
And how much respect do you have for Mr. Yahagi as someone who's excelled in your discipline throughout your career? For Yahagi to have wins in Hong Kong, Cox Plates in Australia, first Japanese trainer to win a Breeders' Cup race and a Classic as well. You must be able to draw parallels between what you've both achieved.
Yeah, he's like the Charlie Whittingham of America. I mean, he's tough. He's just, and you know what? And he looks like he's having fun. That's what I love about him. He's having fun, and when he says his horse is ready, they're ready. And he said last night his horse is ready. I didn't like to hear that, but I mean, it's one of those things where that's what makes these races great. These races are supposed to be tough and bring the best horses here, and if they, it's like that baseball movie. If they put up the money, they'll come. And so we're here.
You are. Let's go to the floor. Any questions for Bob? We've got a microphone we can pass around to you. Mikey.
Nisos has been obviously kind of a frustrating horse throughout his career for you. The first big goal was the Derby, and obviously he couldn't make that after the Bob Lewis with a setback. And then last year, missing the prep and not being able to get to the Classic and having to settle for the Dirt Mile, which he obviously won. How satisfying is it right now, knock on wood, to get him to the next big goal in the Saudi Cup?
Well, I mean, that was the plan with him. We were trying to get him the Breeders' Cup, and we'll run him in the mile, then we'll shoot for the Saudi Cup, and so we gave him that little prep, and so hopefully it'll work out. And but it looks like he shipped well, gave him a little breeze over the track. Look, well, today he looked really fresh, happy, and so it's a matter of these horses. You just don't know. When you bring a horse to the Middle East, you're just never sure how they're going to respond. When they come out of the gate. I remember when I brought Silver Charm the first time to Dubai. They said, what do you think? I don't know. Because it's different. And when he turned for home, I thought he was going to get beaten, and he came on and won. And then Captain Steve. He was supposed to be in the lead. He's 5 lengths off the pace, and I thought he wasn't running, and he came up and he won. So it's just weird, But right now, and I've brought horses here. I thought Mackenzie was going to run really big, and he didn't pick up his feet at all. So you're just hoping that when they turn for home, that they're running. And if to me, hopefully it's going to be Nisos and I hope Nevada Beach is right there too. Nisos and Forever Young, King Kong versus Godzilla,
Anybody else? Bob, then. Okay.
Assuming they run well, any plans to go to Dubai, or is this it?
No, Dubai, definitely. Nevada Beach, we'll go to Dubai. If he runs well and comes out of his race well. I think he could handle something like that, where Nisos will just take him back home and just freshen him up and just point for the Breeders' Cup Classic.
And you said this is the first time you've been here since the first Saudi Cup. And after all those last 100-meter beats, you here to help carry somebody across the line, or do you have a secret plan, or what? How are you going to get that last 100 meters against a horse that's done it twice?
Well, I mean, I've brought nice, good horses here, you know, and so I think Niso's, you know, hopefully is like the best one I brought here, and it's one of those things where I just felt like I wanted to come, you know, I wanted to come back, and if we were to win, I want to be here. I want to enjoy it, you know. Sometimes you want to, you know, I've been there for my Dubai wins, and you know, it's you enjoy it more than watching it on television, you know. So I thought I'd come here and enjoy it because it's a challenge, you know. I like challenges, and this is the only race I've never won, you know. So it's on my bucket list, you know. We're going to keep coming until we win this thing. We're not going to give up. So if we don't get it done this year, we'll just keep coming back.
Hello. I understand, obviously, with the top colt in America, the first priority must be to think about the Triple Crown. And perhaps sometimes when a horse has had a little setback, in the case with Nisos, it could be a blessing in disguise coming into a race like this. Do you think with the expansion of world racing and really serious money in different parts of the world now, could that possibly change the focus for trainers in America, perhaps take a little bit more of a sort of gentle approach into those and be targeting more across the world rather than perhaps just the Triple Crown?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's true, but for some reason, the Kentucky Derby is just so huge in America. And so everybody, when we go to these sales, you know, when we're trying to buy these horses, we're trying to buy, we try to buy these colts and, you know, turn them into stallions, grade ones, and, and sometimes if they do really well, you know, they retire them a stallion because you're taking a big chance for them as 4-year-olds. And but these bigger races like this, we're being able to keep horses like a Nisos who if you miss the classics or whatever, you can come and run them. And so I think the more races like Dubai, you know, we kept running them there, and the Saudi Cup, and plus coming here, it's like it's a beautiful racetrack. It's very safe. It's soft. You know, it's deep, but it's forgiving. And but I think you're going to see a lot of older horses come here, and plus it makes horses in America worth more money. You know, and so a horse like Nevada Beach comes here and can make money and come back again or whatever. And but it's unfortunately, people, if you can't get to the Derby, then you can, you know, there's other big races. But I think this race is going to become more popular as it goes along.
You mentioned that you need a 1.25 mile horse to really run out the 1,800 metres here. Nisos traditionally been kept to 7 furlongs and a mile. Is that just, you know, through the setbacks, or how do you think he's actually going to handle a strong 1,800 metres here?
We're going to find out Saturday, you know, and I think he should, you know, a lot of times, you know, most of these good horses are milers, but you look at a horse like Forever Young, you know, the way he's built, you know, he looks like, you know, if they have the class, they can keep it going. And so I really feel he can handle the 1 1/8 miles, you know, especially the one turn. You know, there's a difference between 2 turns or whatever, but you know, at the end of the day, those class horses can go like Justify. You know, he wasn't a 1.5 mile horse, but he won the Triple Crown because he's just so good. And sometimes that, you know, when they're that good, they can they'll carry their speed.
Anybody else? Yeah.
And Bob, talking about the 1.8 miles, but it's one turn. It's not something we really have in America. How does it play for the horses? And in a race like this, if there isn't that much speed, is it an advantage to be in the forward in a race like that?
Well, I mean, like in New York, it's one turn, the old track, Belmont, you know. Certain horses ran great going one turn. Or 2 turns, they're different, you know. But the thing about Nisos, the horses that have gotten beat here that I brought were all one-dimensional. They had to have the lead, and they got hooked early all the way around there, and they got beat. Where Nisos, he's a really smart horse. He's quiet, he's smart, walks into the paddock like a pony, doesn't get excited. He needs to break well. Flaming Pratt, he knows he's got a lot of confidence. He rides with confidence. He can sit, and go whenever he wants to. So that's the thing. His weapons that you can shut him down, you can shut him off during the race, and then ask him to go.
Final word of Mike. Okay, go, Mikey.
Imagination is, it's 21 Breeders' Cup wins, by the way.
21, thank you.
21?
Yes.
Look at that. You shorted me too.
So, Imagination is currently about the 3-2 market favorite in the Riyadh Dirt Sprint. I know he had a break after the Preakness, and you put him in the 2 6-furlong races. Is he an out-and-out kind of 6-furlong horse? That have you trained him that way, or is he still? Are you still trying to? Is it still an open-ended question with him? Could he be a Met Mile type in the long run?
Yeah, I really think I think he's a one-turn horse, and I think sometimes you're stretching him out, and a lot of these horses they said, well, he keeps hanging. When a horse hangs going 2 turns, you're probably running him too far, So we backed him up, and he ran a tremendous race, the prep before the Breeders' Cup. If he would have run that race in the Breeders' Cup, he probably would have won. He might have bounced off of that a little bit. So I freshened him up. So he couldn't be doing any better. He looks fantastic. He shipped. He's happy. He looks pretty fresh. So I'm hoping for a big race out of him.
Jamie?
Talking about the Saudi Cup, which will be the ideal scenario? Have you imagined the race, how it's going to be?
Not really, because I don't know a lot of the horses in the race. Forever Young, I know he's going to be up there. He always runs a big race. Hopefully, Nisos gets away from there. He's one of these horses that, he got to help him away from there a little bit. And then after that, from the 12 hole, he can just sort of see what's going on. And Nevada Beach, he needs to get away from there. And he's got speed also. He'll be out there. So I really don't know. They have to get away from the gate. If they get away from the gate, I just want them to get away from the gate clean. And they're going to have to bring their A game. If you don't bring your A game, you're just not going to get anything done. So all I can hope for is when they turn for home, that Nevada Beach and Nisos, they're there in contention. It'd be great to see Nisos and my horses, hook up with Forever Young, and that'd be the ideal. Like last year, it was really fun to watch that race. It was incredible. I mean, that was, and that's what the Saudi Cup's supposed to be about. You see 2 great horses just going at it. So I think Nisos is a great horse. Forever Young's a great horse, and so. Maybe there's another, and I've come here and I got beat by Inland Road, so you never know. Crazy things happen in this race, so I just hope that the horses show up, and that's all a trainer can ask for.
Well, Bob, many thanks for coming in this morning. Thanks for taking the time, and the best of luck to you and the team on Saturday.
Thank you.